Okay, we just wanted to do a quick little video, show you what we've been up to with our electronics. We just had Thanksgiving, and instead of Black Friday, we had a Hack Friday, where instead of going out and buying things, we actually stopped and made something. So we had some time to play around. So you guys have seen, I've done a lot of stuff with Arduino in the past. Well, my newest hobby here is called the Raspberry Pi. And it is a small Linux-based computer with an ARM processor. And you can see this. I've actually added a case to it, make it look a little more like a computer. And then I bought a breakout kit from Adafruit called the Cobbler. And that's what makes this Linux computer a little special, is we can interface into it really well. And then instead of using a C programming language like we do for the Arduino, we're using Python, which is something I use at work and I'm quite familiar with. And so we just wanted to show you a little bit about how we're using this and what makes it way cooler than Arduino. So what I've got hooked up on here is we're using, the one drawback of the Pi is that the input-output pins, none of them are analog, and so what we've got tucked in here is the MCP308 chip, which provides analog to digital readings that are available on the I2C bus that the Raspberry Pi can read. And then we've got that hooked up to just a light detecting resistor, an LDR, and we've also got an LED because we love flashing LEDs. And you can see the video output on this. It has HDMI output, but I don't have anything HDMI compatible to plug it into, so we're plugging into our $5 garage store television.
It's not garage store, it's garage sale.
Alright, let's see if we can boot this up to start with.
I see light.
Okay, here it comes. So like I said, you can see, anybody familiar with Linux can see it is booting Linux in the background. The instead of a hard drive, it's just using an SD card. So we put the Linux distribution onto that, and those of you familiar with Adafruit will notice that little symbol up there. We're using their distribution because it contains a lot of libraries and stuff we need for doing the kind of playing around that we're doing. And the resolution on the TV is not quite good enough to read what's going on, but we're actually not going to be using that a whole lot, as you'll see. So the other thing I've got hooked in on this chip as it finishes booting up is I've got a Wi-Fi adapter here. So I've got power coming in, we got our video, and then it's going to hook into my home network using the Wi-Fi. And then we're going to talk to it using its own internal web server. So we're actually not going to need too much. So I can read it's booted all the way in. It's asking for a login. It's telling me what its IP address is. So it is alive and well. And what we're actually going to do is come over here to my other laptop, which is hooked into my network, and we're going to log into the Pi using the web server it's running. Now this is from Adafruit. It's the web IDE, and so the Raspberry Pi is actually running this web server, and so I can connect to it over the web. And right now it's logging in. So the code is stored in a repository on the web, and so no matter what happens to my Raspberry Pi, I still have all the code that I've worked with. And like I talked about, in their distribution they have a lot of add-ons for the different interfaces. They also have their code available too for the different products that they sell, the sensors and stuff. So what I wanted to show you, and part of this is we've been following one of their tutorials on the MCP3008 chip. And so starting from what they wrote, we've actually converted it to work with LDR, and what we're going to do now is just tell it to run. So I've got it's in a web page. We're looking at code that's stored in a repository that's being served by the Raspberry Pi. Talk about being an abstraction. So we're just going to click run here, and we'll come back over here and look and see what our Pi does. So Adafruit Tutorial has created this kind of framework that's going to be like an oscilloscope. You see, we've drawn this oscilloscope pattern, and it is taking the light readings from the LDR and graphing them on here. And so my assistant, using her ultraviolet laser, is going to give us some screen readings. It's a lot of fun to be able to interactively see what the readings are, and I've actually got them printing out over here. This is kind of what I would do on Arduino, is just have the raw values coming out so I can see what's going on and then adjusting that. So, and one of the cool things we found, we were playing around, so you know, your VCR remote uses an infrared light for broadcasting signals, and just playing around to see if the shooting out, you can see the code's flipping kind of fast, but you should be able to actually, so I've actually got delay written into this just so it's not going so fast, but I think you'd be able to read what the LED codes are, but I'm not sure how fast the resistor the changes, but you can see there is the seeing that. Okay, so that is the Raspberry Pi. We showed you how we use the Web IDE, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot more fun with it as we learn to do different things. Alright, hope you enjoyed it. See you later.